Hello, everyone. Tight Ketovorian here. When you go to a business and they provide you with bad customer service, what do you expect when you go back? You know, I don't know what it is that we're asking as patients. We're asking our doctors. I'm not talking about just the customer service. I mean, if the lady a little rude and the price is right and they fix my car or my refrigerator or whatever, hey, I'm good. I may not come back, but I'm good. But when you go to a doctor, nobody questions what they tell us until you get out in these outskirts of health, the health dynamic, or wherever I am. I'm out here in this world talking about carnivore, and for whatever reason, could be marketing, profit, capitalism, whatever, they won't tell us how to use food to get healthy, or really to consider it first. You know, because I've been wrestling with this type 2 thing for too dang long, and I have heard too much different. It can really bore you. It can become depressing, especially when it doesn't get better. Case in point, we were using on a couple of occasions we've had a service provider through the health insurance. They will provide us with lancets, testing materials. I got a blood pressure cuff. I got a weight, a scale, and when I would test and my test was up a little high, which didn't take much, they called me. They called me 5 o'clock in the morning, seconds after my test would register. Yeah, you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? We noticed that we just got your test in. I said, hey, first of all, check this out. This is what we're not going to do. You're not going to call me between 10 and let's just say 8. I mean, we got to do something better than that, Because at first I was ignoring the call, but I was like, I'm kind of up early and you're waking everybody else up. Stop calling me at 5 o'clock in the morning. But it was the same thing. When you first start a program like that, 4 years ago for me, it's like, oh man, they really care, they're concerned. But it was the same thing. Take some medicine. Make sure you drink some water. Or did you take your medicine? Well, it's good you took more medicine. Make sure you drink plenty of water. Try to retest in 2 hours. It's almost like they work for the pharmaceutical company. And recently, at the beginning of this year, they just pulled out they just dropped the employer like nobody's business. They just broke camp. I mean, I don't know what they were making by providing that service through our health insurer. It must have been good until it wasn't. And it probably got to be so expensive because even the employers think, hey, this is what type 2 guys need. You need somebody to test and call them and remind them that you need to take your drugs. You need to drink water because if you don't, you're going to get real sick. You're going to get, rotten and your organs and possibly death. We need to, this is what they need. So let's pay them. How much is it? Oh, 2.5 million a year? Racket. Then they went to 10 million. It was like, hey. But I know they probably cut it because it costs too much. But I'm glad they cut it because it's not solving anything. You're talking about somebody holding your hand as you walk to the grave. That's what it was. I got all this stuff. I won't give you the name of the company. I don't want to call them out. They're not the only one out there because we had another company that ran through a large pharmacy back when my wife worked at a place. But I just don't know. I mean, doctors, they go to school for a long time, so nobody questions them. It's almost like, don't argue with an attorney. I don't know. It depends on what we're talking about. 99% of stuff. But if we're talking about me, I might argue with an attorney. You know what I'm saying? I may not argue with an attorney about the law. I may not argue with an attorney about, civil case or a criminal case. But maybe we're talking about, I don't know, Neil O'Donnell and those interceptions that happened to in the Super Bowl. I argue that point, But doctors, we don't question at all. For the fact that we say don't argue with attorneys, people always argue with attorneys. They think they don't need them. But we don't argue with doctors. That's why I'm telling you guys, if you're just starting this journey, if you're just checking me out, say, I'm trying to see what this fool doing, get with Dr. Berry, Dr. Chafee. There's a series of doctors. Some of them PhDs still. Some of them have studied this human body and this course of eating, this low carb life, this carnivore life, keto life. It's a lot of people out there. Keto Camp. And Homestead How, man, he gets me fired up. When I grew up, I want to be just like Harry. and I I'm trying not to get irate on here, but this just bothers me. But let's go to the good news. Last 2 days, I've been fasting for 16, eating for 8. That's yesterday and today. Let me tell you something, folks. It's like I'm kind of starting over, or I'm getting deeper into this, but I'm talking about my body was evacuating today like nobody's business. I mean, a lot of stuff is changing. I'm thinking this is my newest prescription. No, this is my old prescription. I have a new prescription. Even my vision is having subtle changes because now, a problem I had, while I was at a quote unquote, what I was told, a healthy level in my glucose number for diabetics, okay, I got a really good numbers coming around now. That was worrying me. But I really do think the lack of either the lack of fasting, the coffee that I drunk in the morning, and the sugar sweeteners, and more likely my use of gums, of extra spearmint gums. I mean, a lot. I'm talking about 3 packs a day. Probably every 5 to 7 days during that first 30 days, I think it threw everything off. But just in 2 days, I'll let you know if I'm on the right page. But I have been just 2 days. There's some things going on. So plenty of energy. Man, you just got to keep at it. Keep making tweaks until you get to where you want. But that's all the time I got right now. Good luck lowering your carbs over the next 24 hours. You can do it. Don't quit. You're going to probably have some hiccups and all that stuff. But when you realize just how crucial this is for your life, make it connect it to your why, you'll be okay. Have a good one.